Well, good morning. Monday, April 6th. Michigan $1 rule may be coming back. Let's get into it.
Full Force Minerals, rated #1. Its long-range scent draws deer from farther than ever, packed with the nutrients they need to grow massive racks. Proven results you can see. Get yours at Full.
All right. Well, the Facebook is blowing up about this $1 rule, and people are not liking it. I get it. I mean, it's changing the way you hunt, so on and so forth. Um, but it's a good thing to have it come back for sure. Why is it that every other state that has a $1 rule is got some nice bucks? Um, well, there's a reason for that. Um, my thought on that is, do we continue to do $2 with an antler point restriction? I tell you that really doesn't do much, guys. It really doesn't. I live in the antler point restricted area. In the beginning, you could not get me to hunt around here. When I first moved here, man, you could not get me to hunt around here because everything you've seen was like a 4 or 6 point. Occasionally, you'd probably get something around 120 inches that come on the camera, but it was rare. And I'll run 20, 30 cameras, and I'll just keep running them and try to find different bucks. And it was tough. That's why I did all my hunting elsewhere. But since the antler point restriction, yes, it's gotten way better. It has gotten way better. Now I do the majority of my hunting around the house. Actually, all of my hunting, to be quite honest with you. But you get to the point where bigger bucks, and it kind of plateaus. I think on average, what I seen come in the store this year was about 115 inches. 115 inches back in 2015, 2016 was big for this area. And I think the reason why they did that was to bring back people. I mean, they were losing a lot of people. There's people not wanting to come up and hunt up here. Winter kill off, and they're just not the egg like there used to be up here. So the $1 rule. I was on one of the Facebook pages, and it was one of the people were saying, yeah, these bucks will breed, 10 to 15 deer a season, which I find very hard to believe, because if you go through lockdown lasts about 6 days, and they're usually locked down in one doe, maybe two. I have a hard time believing that bucks actually breed more than 5. I could be wrong, but that's just my point of view. A lot of guys are saying that, hey, why change it? Well, I think what the thing is, I think a big thing is the money factor. A lot of people are taking their money now out of state to hunt, and I, for one, have contemplated doing that. When I sit back, and year after year, I'm not a big fan of shooting something that's a year and a half, 2.5 years old. I'm just not. There's really no challenge to it. I like to challenge myself, but that's who I am. 100% that's who I am. I'm not a big trophy hunter like I used to be. I've shot my share. I like to chase them and put somebody else on. I like that. I enjoy that. So the guy sitting back's what I see is the guy sitting back. He's complaining about there shouldn't be $1 rule, but he's the one that's shooting a year and a half, 2.5-year-old buck. then he's complaining about only 6% of the people harvest $2. So one or two things. One, you're shooting 2 small deer a year just to fill the freezer when you can shoot does. Are you just wanting to beat your chest and act like Tarzan? You shot $2. Not hard to do, buddy. Not hard to shoot 2 small bucks. And it doesn't pertain. I mean, if you say no, I don't shoot two small bucks, then it's not pertaining to you. Then you're still allowed to shoot your $1 of any size. I mean, I don't understand what the big hubbub is about this. They're saying it's just not going to do anything for the herd. So in all the other states, they have $1 rule. You look at Iowa, you look at Indiana, Illinois, and how many does they actually harvest. Yeah, that'll bring down the doe count real quick. I guess when I'm asking you guys, what do you think about the $1 rule? I am all for it. I'm all for it. We used 1991, 92, I think was the height of our deer numbers. And I thought if I'm not mistaken, forgive me if I'm wrong, I think the deer herd at that time was 1.6 to 1.7 million. That's a lot of deer. That year we were allowed to shoot $3. And sorry, I'm driving here. And I wasted no time. I wasted no time. I had $3 down by, I think, November 19th. And I had a doe permit to use. I will say this. I took those $3, and I think the second or third year I noticed a decrease in deer numbers. Was that a big part of it? Probably. If the guys are out there saying, "Oh yeah, they breed 10 to 15 does a year," then it was a big part of it. I think it was a slight part of it, to be honest. I don't think it had a major part to do with it. But look back at the numbers. I mean, you can type it down below. Let me know what the numbers were that year. I can't remember if it was 1991 or 1992. But yeah, I filled all my buck tags that year. I want to say they were 2.5-year-olds, maybe 1 3.5-year-old. But yeah, if you got the numbers, put it down below. So you got to ask yourself, who is this really going to affect? It's going to affect just 6% of the people. Just 6%. I think what you're really going to see is a huge increase in giant bucks in the antler point restricted zone. Yeah. In just a matter of, I think, 7 years since it's been implemented, it's really done wonders, but it's really plateaued. I think I've only shot $2 in that time. I've taken out people and they've shot bucks. Then they've gone back to their own place and shot their own bucks. So, I mean, who's it really hurting? It's not really hurting anybody if there's only 6% of the people harvesting $2. I mean, if you're that guy that's out there just for the meat and you're in the lower part of Michigan and you're out there shooting spikes and 6s and 4s, man, it has nothing to do with you. Really, it doesn't. It's only going to improve your hunting. Now, if you're for the $1 rule, type that down below and the reasons why. I think Michigan can be one of the top buck states. That used to be. People came here in the 60s, 70s, and early 80s to hunt. One, we had deer numbers. Two, we had some great bucks. And if you look at these circa pictures that roll around the internet and Facebook and stuff like that, the giants that used to come out of Michigan. Now, the state of Michigan has treated it like a business. They have grew the sport to its peak, I think, in the mid 90s, late 90s, and it's been an absolute bust since then. Been just flopping since then, and it's because we've had too many hunters. Everybody wants to go out and shoot a spike, a 4-point, a 6-point, a small buck. They can beat their chest and say, "Hey, look what I did." Now, I know there's guys out there, they have maybe 1-2 days to hunt a year. They want to put meat in the freezer. If that's the first thing that walks by, I would probably be doing the same thing. I get it. Also, you got to think about, why should you be able to go harvest what you want to harvest every single year? And there's trophy hunters out there that can't. They stand a better chance going out of state. They stand a better chance spending $1,500, $2,000 going to another state and harvesting a nice buck to put on their wall. You may not like the trophy hunter, but they're a heck of a lot more educated than most of the guys that just want to shoot the first thing that walks by. There's a big difference there. Growing up, especially in 91, 92, that's when my eyes opened up, especially into 93, 94, 95, when I wanted to learn how to get on some bigger bucks. Now, growing up, hunting with my dad, he grew up on the farm. They had a few deer there, and that was pretty much the same spot that I shot these bucks. They didn't use the wind back then. They just knew where they go out and they sit. They put the wind at their back. I didn't back then. Back in the early to mid 90s, people were they had the wind at their back. They just didn't understand why they were spooking deer. Wind wasn't a big thing back then. Now it is. When we start learning how to hunt, we just want to shoot everything that walks by. We do. But as we get closer to this date where Michigan Congress is going to say yes or no to this, which I think it's the NRA, Natural Research, or the NRC, the Natural Resources Commission, when they say yes or no to this, I think things are going to change. I think the quality of deer in the state is going to skyrocket. I really do. I think the DNR, NRC, and the state of Michigan have thrown everything at the community of hunting. Here's 10 buck tags. I mean, why is it in Kalkaska County, where I live, we had 0 doe tags for the longest time? 0 years. Then all of a sudden, hey, here's 10. I definitely seen the numbers drop. Absolutely. 100%. Now, I know downstate, southern Michigan, probably hasn't even dented the herd, to be honest with you. I get it. We have, having 3 different types of hunting here, 3 different regions. You got the upper peninsula, then the northern, lower, and the southern. It's 3 different styles of hunting. 3 tips. It is completely different in all 3 zones. Should they have the $1 rule throughout the state? Should they have it in part of the state? I think that's going to be very hard to regulate, just because, hey, you can go downstate, shoot a buck, come up here, and I think that's out the window. So I think a really good thing. I think one buck rule is great. Um, and I think you will see. Gosh darn it! I think you'll see the doe numbers really drop. I really do. Anywho, that's my thought on it. If you have any thoughts on it, type it down below. I'll respond. I always respond. I like to hear everybody's thoughts on it. I really would, because man, it's a big controversy all over Facebook these days. So, anyways, man, you guys have a great week. Let's see your responses. Talk to you later.